Hey everyone. So officially, the Xbox 360 servers are shutting down on January 13th, 2022. With this, as you have already guessed by the title of this video, that means the original Halo 3 servers are also shutting down. I made a video a while back going over the original date, which was December 2021, and that did very well. In that original video, I gave some points as to why the server should rightfully shut down, and in this video, instead, I just want to go over our memories of the original Halo 3. So please, sit back, maybe grab a snack, and enjoy. Halo 3 officially launched way back on September 25th, 2007. To say Halo 3 was massive is quite the understatement. A comparison I love to use is Super Smash Bros. Melee. Over a test of time, Melee has withstood many console generations and is still hailed as the best in the series, and I believe Halo 3 is also in that category. For those who got to experience Halo 3 at its peak, we got to live through arguably one of the best, if not the best, online experience. For this video, I like to break down Halo 3 in 4 categories: Campaign, Multiplayer, Forge, and the Chase for Recon. To start off, the Halo 3 campaign is timeless. Having the wild ride of Halo 2 and its huge cliffhanger ending, it was nice to come back and finish the fight. When I first got Halo 3, I beat the entire campaign in one sitting on normal difficulty. When I played through the campaign again, but on Legendary with friends, I had no idea what I was about to experience. Out of all the campaigns for countless games, nothing will ever come close to the absolute blast Halo 3's campaign with friends was. Being 13 years old, Legendary proved to be insanely difficult, and beating each level felt like such an accomplishment. I vividly remember collecting the various different skulls and finding the secret terminals scattered around the levels. A dear friend of mine, who is no longer here, had introduced me to Halo way back during the CE days, so naturally we played every Halo campaign together. We had finally conquered the 2 scarabs on the level The Covenant. We had yelled like we won the Super Bowl. Of course, it was a combination of playing a game with your best friend, our age, and as I mentioned, the sense of accomplishment the Halo 3 campaign gave us. Something I loved about the campaign, and Bungie in particular, was the ability to unlock armor via achievements. When you achieve 100% achievement completion of Halo 3, you unlock the famous katana. Flexing this on multiplayer proved you beat the campaign on Legendary, and you did every achievement no matter how easy or hard. I really wish more modern day games did this sort of thing, but sadly cosmetics and cool effects or gun coatings are locked behind paywalls. I'm looking at you, Halo Infinite, pissing me off. Overall, the Halo 3 campaign was and still is one of the best campaigns in all of gaming. The way the story of Halo wraps up is satisfying, and I can't lie, I shed a single man tear when I believed Master Chief had died at the end. When a game has the ability to make a player express emotion, that's how you know it was good. And Halo 3 was damn good. Moving on to the multiplayer side of things, Halo 3 was king. To say Halo 3 dominated Xbox Live from 2007 to 2010 is nothing far from the truth. Everyone played Halo. I've made some of my best friends playing Halo 3. Hell, the game made me more social and popular my freshman and sophomore year of high school. Shoutouts to my boy Devin if you're watching. Halo 3 multiplayer took everything that made Halo 2 so great and just cranked it up to 10. From the armor customization, the maps, the gun sandbox, and overall the community, Halo 3 was something that you just told people you had to be there. Something that Halo Infinite has failed to do thus far is separate ranked playlists. Halo 3 shined here with playlists such as ranked doubles, Lone Wolves, Snipers, BTB at one point, SWAT, MLG, even Team Objective was there for a bit. Bungie knew how to get you to play and try all the playlists since each one had its own 1 through 50 ranking. Speaking of rank, Halo 3 in my opinion had the best rank system of all the Halos. The 1 through 50 scale was amazing, and that feeling of ranking up after a hard fought win was great. The problem with modern FPS games is a lot of ranked modes will rank you up even if your team loses. It goes back to the participation trophy. Even though you lost, we'll still give you points or XP because we want you to feel good. It's soft, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this. If you want to rank up in Halo, guess what? You had to win. Booster accounts were massive back in the day. So for those who are new to the Halo 3 lore, a booster account is an account that has negative XP. Now when you play, for example, doubles with said booster account, the game thinks that you're playing with the worst player of all time. So when you win, the game is like, oh, we need to rank you up X amount of levels because you just won with a teammate with negative XP, therefore they are terrible at the game. If you remember Microsoft points, which was the currency used back on the 360, to get a boosted 50, you would typically pay 1600 to 3200 Microsoft points. Having a 50 in Halo 3 was a big deal. The elusive 5-star general rank was the top dogs of the game, and the only way to reach that was a 50 and 5000 XP. Going back, I want to share a quick story about some ranked Team Slayer. I was, I think, a 46 at the time, and my team was playing on high ground. Now, to get to that 46, I had to win literally 10 games in a row. We end up losing that game, and guess what? Your boy goes down in rank. Unfortunately, I made a poor decision in my judgment, and my wall fell victim to my fist. I punched my first hole in the wall. Not implying there's been more since, but I can tell you my mom was furious. As much as I praise Halo 3, man, it can be frustrating at times, especially because level locking was a thing. Oh, what's level locking, you ask? So I actually have a good example of this. My buddy Ben, shouts to you, became level locked at 48, which means no matter how many games he won, he was staying at 48. Obviously, not being able to get to 50 on your main account is terrible, but to be stuck at 48, 2 levels away, I could not imagine his pain. But that was just Halo 3 sometimes. To wrap up this part of the video, I will discuss the MLG side of Halo 3. Halo CE and Halo 2 were big at the time, but Halo 3 was on another level. I remember watching on TV Final Boss, Carbon, Triggers Down, etc. As a teenager who loved Halo, this was the best. If you remember G4 TV and the infamous T-Squared segment, that alone introduced Halo to a whole new audience. Fragging Like a Pro became synonymous with comp play, and you bet I would take notes every time a segment would come on. Watching the Dynasty Final Boss win major after major, or watching insane wins from Carbon will always be my best memories of comp Halo. It's sad that Halo 3 didn't thrive after its 3-year dominance, but I think being around its peak is something I'll be forever grateful for. To this day, as I am now 27 years old, no game has come close in terms of multiplayer for me. No game has had me sitting for hours, daily, grinding movement or map callouts. I don't see a game doing that anytime soon. For those watching that didn't get to experience Halo 3 when it was at its peak and it was king, you really missed out on one of, if not the best time in gaming. Forged. Probably the best thing that happened to Halo ever. When you want limitless fun and thousands of ways to express your creative side, Halo 3 Forge was there. Forge in Halo is basically a map editor. You were given a budget depending on the map, and items cost a set amount of money. The most famous of maps to be forged on was Foundry. Its symmetrical layout and size made it the ideal canvas. From race maps, infection maps, Octagon, Fat Kids, Saw puzzles, even 2 MLG approved maps, Foundry was king. Bungie, being the genius company they were, released Sandbox, which was even better. On Sandbox, you had 3 levels to forge on: the basement, the mid-level, or the sky. This led to some of the most creative maps I've ever seen. You had Indiana Jones maps, Duck Hunt maps, Halo, which was a dope race map just to name a few. Forge and Halo 3 laid the framework for the series. It wasn't overly complicated, but it was simple enough to grasp after a few tries. When I was in a clan with my friends, and I know I'm not the only one who did this, I forged a base for meetings and trainings. Although these meetings never really happened, it was still cool to be able to do this. Looking back, seeing the maps I made when I was younger was really nostalgic. I'm very excited for what Infinite Forge brings to the table, so please come out quicker and let me make maps again. When a dev makes something so desirable, so exclusive with no in-game means to obtain, how does that make you feel? Bungie had an armor called Recon. Now, in modern Halo games, Recon is just another normal armor, but in peak Halo 3 days, it was the Hope Diamond of Halo. Recon belonged to Bungie employees and a select few Halo players. In order to get Recon, players would need to appear on Bungie favorites. Every week, Bungie would select their favorite screenshots, maps, game types, and clips from the community. If you were lucky enough and got chosen, you were gifted Recon. A player I'll always remember is Predator5791. They were literally on Bungie favorites weekly, it seemed, and they were famous for their insane screenshots. Predator had mastered the art of making wings and anatomy out of floating weapons, which at the time was unheard of. Bungie favorites wasn't the only way to get Recon though. If you were a content creator, you had a chance. Back in the day, a little series called Arby and Chief had launched. This consisted of a toy Master Chief and a toy Arbiter playing Halo and trying to get Recon. It was a hit, and Bungie took notice and they got Recon. This was one of the first cases of a player getting Recon without getting on Bungie favorites, so it was a pretty big deal at the time. As time went on, Bungie introduced VidMaster achievements with the launch of Halo 3 ODST and the Mythic Map Pack. These achievements were particularly difficult and required coordination with a team of 4 typically. To this day, the VidMaster of completing 4 waves of Firefight on ODST is still one of the toughest achievements to get, but Bungie made this intentional. Why, you ask? Because this was the way to unlock Recon. Completing all the VidMaster challenges awarded players the most sought after armor in gaming, but personally I wasn't a fan. I loved the exclusivity of Recon, even though I didn't have it. In my opinion, almost handing it out to everyone was kinda a slap to the face for all the people who worked hard to get on Bungie favorites, or people who created Halo 3 content. Eventually, as time went on, even without the VidMasters completed, Bungie gave Recon to every player. I understand why they did it, as Halo 3 was well past its prime, but part of me wishes it was still the exclusive armor it once was. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Halo 3 will always be one of my favorite games of all time, and to say I was a part of Halo 3 in its prime, I can look back and appreciate that. It's sad to see Halo 3 on the 360 come to a close, but we do have MCC for our Halo 3 fix. Bungie did more than create a video game. They created a dedicated community and fan base that no other game has had. From the stellar campaign, the almost perfect multiplayer experience, Forge, and Recon, Halo 3, enjoy your rest. You've earned it. Thanks for watching.